Hi there. Yeah. So let's get real. What four side hustles can you suggest to somebody who is fully employed?
Yes. Now, when you talk about side hustles, people think it's about you starting a factory, it's you getting into this big business, you're importing things from China. Whereas those can be side hustles. And there are people who are doing that, on a part-time basis. But for me, the way I look at side hustle is what will give you an extra income. So that's the starting point. So when you have that in mind, there are various options available out there in the market that can give you an extra income and they will not require a lot of your time. So I'll share with you what I consider five areas someone can invest in, especially if you have a full-time job and for now you're not ready to transition to full-time, being a full-time business person. Yeah. So the first one is investing in shares and government securities. So if you go talk to your bank or an agent, it can either be a bank or it can be a securities agent. You can open an account. You can be able to invest in government bonds. If you have from 100,000 shillings and above, I believe, and some of them are giving a return of even up to 14%. 14% is it's a very good amount considering the savings account you'll be given a 1%. Yeah, so if you have 1 million shillings in a year, you end up with 140,000 shillings. Yeah, they remove tax, but even if they do, you still get a decent return. So the second option is where you sell your skills. So this is where consultancy comes in. So for example, the videographer here, the team behind the production, over the weekend, they can go and work part-time. Whether it's a wedding, graduation, all those kind of events, they can go there, they use their skill, and so they'll be able to get an extra income. So if it's for you, you're a communication professional, you can go consult on someone, you give them a communication plan. If it's for me, HR, I can go and develop a HR policy. So here I'm selling my skills. That's also another option. And it's not demanding because this is what you do on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. The returns may not be as high because again, you're still being paid for your time. However, it's better than maybe just sitting at home over the weekend and watching Netflix. The other option, they're the online works, gigs that are upcoming. So it's closely related to consultancy because here someone pays you again for your skills. And the advantage of online work is your customers, you're not limited to the geography. So there are many Kenyans I know who are working part-time. So someone leaves work at 5:30 p.m. and 8 to 9 p.m. They're doing something part-time and earning in USD. So that's also another option. Also think about savings account, but here savings account, think more in terms of fixed deposits and also investing in SACCO. Because here we also, again, we are looking at returns. Your average savings account, bank account, will give you less than 2%. Don't even bother with them. In fact, I'll tell you for free, you can never become rich by saving money. I know women are very good at saving. Women save more than men. However, you cannot grow your wealth through saving. You only grow your wealth through investing. So how can you make sure banks are working for you? It's going open a fixed deposit. And the beauty of it, whether you have 50,000 shillings, 100,000, so whatever amount of money you are not currently using, put it in a fixed deposit. You can do 3 months. After expiry of 3 months, you again roll over and you continue that way. Yeah. So here, the advantage is you get a better return. SACCOs are very good. They're quite competitive. Then they'll give you between 10% to 14%. Yeah. And lastly, think about real estate for those who have the capital. Where we are, property, especially land. Land is always in high demand. So I've seen people who started investing in real estate by just buying a small piece of land. You go invest 100,000, you sell it. So the beauty of it, like I had explained at the beginning, is that it doesn't really require a lot of your time. Yeah. So if there's a way you can be able to connect a buyer with a seller, either whether it's your own property or another person's property, then you can do very well in real estate. So for me, those are the five options. And the beauty of them is just based on the discussion we are having, they don't require your actual involvement, a lot of your involvement. Yeah.
As we wrap up, having gone through that journey of balancing side hustle and employment, how do you balance it? What advice would you give someone who is there?
Yes, the reason why many people don't succeed, because you'll agree with me, we all want to make money, we all want to have a good life. Number one, the first thing you need is self-discipline, because combining the two is not easy. Why? You need to satisfy your customers, and you need to deliver on your job. And yet, in a day, how many hours do you have?
8 hours of
We talk
work.
about 8 hours. If you want to stretch them, you're talking about, let's say, start working at 6 a.m. up to, let's say, 10 p.m. So give or take, you have close to 12 hours maximum. So imagine 12 hours. This is what the expectation the employer has, and this is what the expectation that your customers have. So trying to balance the two is not easy. And what will make you succeed is if you have the self-discipline. So at times, I remember myself now, when it started to become busy, there are times I would say no to my side hustle. Why? Because the demands of my employer were high. For example, during end month, I required to do a lot of reports. My time was really important at the office. So that time I would make sure then I reduce on what I was doing for the side hustle. In fact, one of the reasons now of myself why I quit and went to full-time employment is there came a time where I couldn't handle the two. So, and I saw instead of burning bridges with my employer, let me just leave and concentrate on the business. Yeah. So self-discipline is important because, unlike job where, employer tells you come at 8:30, log out at 5:30, your own business, the success depends on how you carry yourself. Yeah. My second piece of advice is you've got to have a long-term plan. Why are you doing this? I see people like selling things on Facebook, making 2,000, 3,000 shillings. That's not a side hustle. It can be in the sense that it's giving you money, but where is it taking you? Because Cindy, if you start selling these earrings, everyone is selling them. And you might find even your job, the much you make in a month, maybe you only make 2,000 shillings. Now compare with your salary. Should you really be focusing on those earrings giving you 2,000 shillings? So you've got to have a bigger picture. So why am I working towards this and what am I getting? Yeah. So for me in HR, if someone comes and tells me, Pamina, I'll pay you 2,000 shillings for making a job description, is that the best use of my time? So for me is to ask myself, if I went, let's say, maybe got another job in HR where I'm able to increase my salary by 50,000, 100,000, is that a better deal than this other one? So you've got to have a long-term plan. Yeah. And the way I would advise someone is the whole essence of side hustle is you are starting it to exit, let's say, employment. Yeah. But it shouldn't be just for the sake of making some 5,000 shillings or 10,000 shillings. Yeah. And lastly, you've got to keep evaluating what's working and what's not working. Yeah, so if you find that you're finding more joy, more money, more satisfaction in the side hustle, sometimes even if it's not paying a lot, or similar to your job, then there's no harm in transitioning. If you try the business, it doesn't work also, you've got to be realistic. Maybe that's not what you were meant to do, Cynthia. So also, there are also ways to grow in employment. Yeah. So for me, that aspect of keep checking, keep evaluating to see what's working best, and then from there you can make an informed decision.
Yeah. I think people go wrong at not having the bigger picture, a clear picture where they're headed.
Yes. And there's all these, I don't know why not everyone was born to be an entrepreneur. That's a fact. Yeah. Same as not everyone was born to work. There are people who thrive in either. Yeah. And you remember what I shared with you? There are people who I know, they earn in millions in employment. And there are people who, in this channel is all about starting a business, but there are people who are really struggling in business. So you've got to look at your strengths, see what suits me, and then focus there. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for watching.
Spy TV live broadcast happening now. Happening now.